It's time for the public hearing for the CARES grant. Nick, I'll let you.
So the CARES grant, in order to authorize us to apply for it, basically you guys have to pass the resolution that's on page 6 of the packet. That'd be page 2, I'm sorry. No, it's page 6 of the packet. Basically, it's saying that we're a legal government entity that's allowed to apply for that grant.
Did anybody have any questions about that grant?
I just think it's great that we're making the effort to apply for it and provide what help we can to the businesses.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we are selected. That'll be grand. Okay, if there are not any questions, I will take a motion to. Somebody else have a question? Just noise? Okay, I would accept a motion to approve the resolution.
This is Sharon, so move.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second it there.
Was it? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution for the CARES grant. Let's go down the line. Mark Berner,
Yes.
okay, Sharon Hahn,
Yes.
Keith Wessel,
Yes.
Larry Segrist,
Yes.
and Mark Brooks.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. That resolution number is 060220-01. You had that on here for us. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anything else on the,
Nope, that's it with the public hearing.
okay, that's for the public hearing. We didn't hear anything from anyone, so. Okay, we'll close that part of the meeting and start with the welcome. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll start with the public comment period. Since we don't have one, we can go to the consent agenda with the minutes, appropriations, and cabins transfer for F14, D25, G1, and C36. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Mark. Second?
Second.
Okay, who was that?
That's Mark Brooks.
Who was first?
Burner.
They sounded alike tonight. Okay, we'll go down the row again. Mark Berner,
Yes.
Sharon Hahn,
Yes.
Keith Wessel,
Yes.
Larry Segrist,
Yes.
Mark Brooks.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Old business. The Mosler Creek Dike update. We're gonna let Nick take care of that here.
Yeah, so we met down at Steve Iverson's office this morning at 8 a.m. The Corps gave us some preliminary idea of what the removal of the dike would do. What we're doing now is we've got some different numbers from Mr. Nelson, and Jeff Blosser's kind of involved with it from a county standpoint. We're going to use the surveying that we used for the Valley Street drainage improvements and give that to the Corps so it can run some different numbers. So we'll hopefully have that back by the end of this week, beginning of next week, and then we'll have a better idea of what that's going to do down there. So that's where we're at with that. Does anybody have any questions about it?
Basically, they were updated numbers. There were some numbers that were skewed a little bit. We
Yeah.
found out, so they're gonna correct those.
Yeah, the first study, we didn't include the improvements done on Valley Street. So that wasn't included in their mapping. So now we're going to include those.
Does this include the boundary? I mean, is this to determine the boundary?
What she asked.
Which boundary?
Is it to determine the boundary on the dike as to what part is the cities and what part is the counties?
The city doesn't have ownership of that dike.
It's all in the county?
No, part of it's in the dike's half and half. Half of it's in the county, half of it's in the city. But the city does not have ownership of it.
However, what we are checking on is the,
Potential of causing flooding and
yeah, effects.
effects of removing that dike.
Who owns it then?
Who owns it?
Yes,
Eric Nelson.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Orange Gardens.
there's an 86 or 87 that whoever was in charge then gave up the city's rights to that levy. From paperwork we're able to find.
So,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
Has Eric obtained the correct permits to continue work there?
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Now he was good. He was very cordial in the meeting, and he wants to work with us. So we just got to figure out what the real number is, and if anything needs to be added back to the dike, or if not. That's kind of where we're at with it. And the Corps has been helpful in helping us figure that out.
Yeah, I felt the meeting was very promising. It sounds like we're going to be able to work it out pretty well. So, but we.
My question,
Yes.
I'm sorry. My question would be, Nick, if everything's cordial, did you talk to him about his original statement that he was only going to take a width enough for a truck to drive through there, and now he's taking enough for 50 trucks to drive through there?
Yeah, that came up today, and my guess is that he took that dirt and used it to build up a pad out in that field. Is what he did.
It also has to do with the amount of stuff he's moving up and over there. We were thinking about it couldn't be too steep, or the acres of stuff he's going to move over there. It had to be fairly flat, and so that all has to do with it too. The incline, and there was quite a bit to it.
That did come up, Mark. I did ask about that in the meeting.
So
Okay.
I have one question. Is the determination then whether he's going to have to raise some of that back up again? Is that the,
Yeah, that's what we're working on.
okay,
Because the way that the flood mapping is set up, if it's in 100-year flood, everybody in that area that has the potential to get flooded would have to buy flood insurance.
right?
200 to 200 plus flood event, they would not, and it wouldn't decrease the value of people's property or anything like that. So hopefully with these new numbers and stuff that we've given the Corps, they can do the mapping, tell us that's over 200 or above, and then we can just kind of not worry about it, because 200 plus flood events are pretty serious. And what we had last spring was in April, May was 100-year events, not 200 plus events. So
Yeah, they're considered rare. They said the
Yeah.
200.
yeah,
So,
yeah. People with the Corps said those are very rare to even have a 200 plus event.
I guess, I'm sorry, but I just, this still worries me in that if we have allowed something to happen that could allow that kind of thing to happen, is that what we should be doing? So anyway,
Well, I mean, Sharon, we don't own the property. So we had to do all the legwork trying to figure out if we had any legal authority to
I
stop
see.
that, and we did not.
Okay,
So we had everybody look at the deeds and went to the deeds office and had a bunch of people look at it, and we had no legal right to stop him from what he was doing.
okay. Well, that answers another question. I didn't, thank you.
Yep.
Well, on that, are you sure we don't have any legal action? Because one, with the 3 mile zoning that we've done, does that throw something that we can use? And didn't we just pass an ordinance about the increase of runoff of construction? Wouldn't that fall into that too?
Yeah, the 3 mile extraterritorial is not in place. We had to rescind that because it wasn't done correct, but we're still actually working on that, Mark. We did approve it at one time, and then it was rescinded. I know Larry knows more about it than I do because he helped work on it. Larry, you remember much about that? Larry there.
Yes, yes. No, it's not in place yet. We had to have the Board of Zoning Appeals in first. Then we had to process the definition of what is agricultural. And I think Mr. Iverson was supposed to review that. But no, there's been no zoning done in the extraterritorial. The stormwater runoff you're referring to does not apply to land that is not within the corporate limits of the city.
But part of it is.
Not the
material
building. He didn't need a building permit.
The actual dike that would hold the water, that is still within the city limits.
Half of it.
Right.
Okay, he didn't need a permit to put a hole in that dike. That's not the structure. So he didn't get a building permit, so he wasn't required to abide by the stormwater runoff.
Well, we need to, and we
See, the building is the cause for the runoff.
we're wide
Not
open here.
Steel in the
We're
dirt.
gonna have
You want, Mark?
well, people can build all the way around our city limits and affect the city, and we have no recourse.
Within the 3 mile is what you're talking about?
In place. So that-
Yeah.
Well, it's always been that way until we get this thing in place, this 3 mile thing in place. That's the way it's always been.
So I would encourage people, whoever, we need to get it in place so that this doesn't happen again.
I agree.
Yes. We took the steps, we just didn't quite complete them, it sounds like. We have a little glitch, so.
You know, it got approved before we had the board in place and before we did a couple other steps that we were supposed to do before we approved it. So,
Would that have had effect on this situation?
should have, yes.
Anyway, but the Corps sounds like they are, you know, I felt they felt confident. Did you not feel that they felt
Yeah.
confident that once we get these numbers figured out and,
They can give us a real idea of
Yeah.
what it is over there.
yeah, and what increments, if any needs to be built back into there, how much to keep it from, you know, making it a floodplain, the extra stuff, a floodplain and stuff. So, you know, they have LiDAR from 2011 they worked on and photographs, and now we're going to get them our most recent survey from BG, and they're going to work off of that. And they've been really good to work with us. I really appreciate what they've done, you know, for us. So, any other questions? Okay. Moving forward, in your packet, I believe it's the last page, there's a Hayes House liquor license. And they do not have their license from the state yet, but would like to get open pretty quick if they can, or whenever they're planning. And so we would like to see if we can, they would like to know if we can approve their liquor license contingent upon their liquor license being approved by the state.
So we wouldn't issue them their certificate until we got verification that they got their state liquor license. This is just so this month we have 3 weeks in between our last council meeting, and what we don't want to happen is that they have to wait a month for us to meet again in order to approve it. So until we get the verification from the state that they are certified with the state, then we'll issue them their liquor license. This is just you guys approving that you're fine with that. Approving them a liquor license for the city contingent upon the state license.
So does anybody have any questions about that? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I second it, Sharon.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to approve the Hayes House liquor license contingent upon their approval by the state. All those in favor, Mark Berner,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
and Mark Brooks.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. It would be nice to have them back again. The Lake Annexation Committee discussion, I asked Nick to put this on our agenda this evening. I would like, at this point, it seems that our Lake Annexation Committee is needing a little bit of update. I'm going to reappoint that committee. I'm not going to reappoint it tonight, but I'm going to, at this point, say that we are putting that committee on hold, and then we will reappoint. My intention is to have people on the committee that live at the lake, that not necessarily are on the board of the Lake Association. Right now, we have only people that are on the board from the lake on the biggest.
Dan and Jeff are not.
Oh, Dan and Jeff. Okay, I'm sorry.
You got 3 people from the Lake Association.
We have 3 people for the Lake Association. So anyway, but I'm going to reappoint that committee. I probably will reappoint it at the very next meeting. In fact, I'd like to have it on the next agenda so that we can move forward on that. It's an important issue. And does anybody have any discussion about that?
I just think we need to get back on it and get back on the whole sewer line issue.
I agree. And we're not quite getting there. It's, the pandemic stopped a little bit of that.
Well, we're moving along, and that stopped us.
Beg your pardon?
Burner, are we
I
still
s-
getting numbers?
I said
together?
we were moving along, and then that stopped us.
Yeah, we got kind of stopped. So anyway, we'll put that on the next one. If that-
Mark Burner had something.
Oh, Mark Berner, do you have something to say?
Yeah. The sewer line is really separate from the lake annexation in some ways. We got any progress made on that, Nick? Have you had any discussions recently?
Yeah. What was your question, Mark? I couldn't hear you.
Have you had any discussion with the guys that are putting the numbers together on the sewer lately?
I have not, no. I have an email, I talked about a week ago. And I haven't heard back from them. I know they're working from home or have been working from home. So, but I'll follow back up.
Okay, my only comment to that was I don't think that we need to have, delays on that part of things. That the Lake Annexation Committee doesn't really have any jurisdiction over that. We just need our numbers still.
Right.
Yep.
That's exactly right. So, okay.
I think my thought on the committee is they just need to be on point and focus on what it's all about, is annexation, and not all these other things that are brought up.
Well, on the sewer system.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of where we're headed. We've kind of gotten off on a bunch of different tangents, it seems like, and it'd be nice to have a little bit of more input on it. So I agree. Okay. Anything else on that? Okay, moving on. 4th of July celebration discussion.
So as contacted by Jason Ziegler, he's got a kind of a cutoff date on when he needs to know, are we doing 4th of July or not? I talked to the committee members and we're all in agreement that we should try to have it, borrowing anything from the state or the health officer of Morris County saying we can't. So that way Jason can get things going on his end. I've also booked a sound system for the 4th of July. The thing I talked about with the committee is kind of scaling it back. I don't know that we'll have a food vendor and things like that. We'll still have some people playing music and stuff like that, but kind of scale it back a little bit since the pool's not open and things like that.
Hey, Nick,
Yes.
just to throw in there, I did talk to Max. He's still on board. I believe Ken England will definitely be playing with him, and Max was checking with Jason Ziegler to see if, or Derek Ziegler to see if he was going to be able to be a part of that.
Okay.
He has a new band together, and I guess they're getting pretty popular. And since that's a Saturday night on the 4th, I don't know if he's booked or not. So Max was going to check.
Okay. Thanks. So everybody good with that?
Okay. So does anybody else have anything to say about that, about 4th of July, or are we?
I just think it's important that we go ahead and do it. I think the community needs it.
I agree.
I agree, as long as it's barring anything from the state and the health officer, but yeah, I think we need to try to do it.
Mhm. And people can practice social distancing within their families and,
They can spread it out.
yeah, we've got lots of room over there.
So it'll be different. We won't have the pool and all that.
Yeah, be a little bit, maybe not quite the all-day celebration where we've had the pool before and stuff, but. Okay. We're down to, anybody else have anything else that they would like to talk about in particular before we go to governing body? Okay, let's start with Mark Brooks.
I don't have anything. I just hope everybody's doing okay, and I'm looking forward to actually sitting in the meeting room with and seeing everybody instead of talking into this stupid phone.
I could agree. Probably next meeting, do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up in government body.
Okay, good.
I'll talk to you guys about that.
Good. Okay, next, Larry Segrist.
No, I have nothing for this evening.
Okay. Keith Wessel.
I have nothing as well, Mayor. Thank you.
Sure. Sharon Hahn.
Nothing. I just emphasize what Mark said. Yes, just be safe and keep practicing what we're supposed to be doing, and hopefully we'll get back together soon.
Okay. Mark Berner.
Nothing to that.
Okay. Nick.
Okay, a couple things. The meetings, so starting June 8th, hopefully we'll move into the next phase, which allows 45 people to be in an area 6 foot apart. So realistically, we can meet on the 16th here, if everybody's good with that. I'm sure Mindy would love that.
This is working.
So how does everybody feel about that?
Anybody worried about that? Feel free
No.
Feel free to speak up if you are.
We can
Hey,
just,
we all wear a mask and we can spread out.
Yep.
agreed.
So we'll plan on the 16th. We'll meet here.
Okay.
And then I was talking to James Master, the city inspector, regarding some issues we're having out at the lake. We have somebody he's having issues with campers out there, and we don't have anything in the lease, and there's nothing that we can enforce ordinance-wise out there on this, but he's got a camper out there at a cabin that's hooked up to water or electric, and then they got a hose running from their septic system that's dumping on the ground. He showed it to Lisa Davies today. She's going to send a letter to the cabin owner, letting them know that's not acceptable. But I talked to Steve a little bit ago. The only thing that we can really do to enforce something like with that is to add it to the lease. Kind of like our annexation lawyers recommended adding those ordinances to the lease or an addendum to the lease to allow us to enforce that stuff out there.
Did he investigate to see what's being dumped on the ground? Is it gray water or is it black water?
It's both.
Well, that's pretty serious, I would say, if it's both.
Yeah. So Lisa Davies seen it and she was not happy about it. He's going to
We've
write
had this situation come up before many times. Debbie, Mayor, I think we've dealt with this before, and I I thought we had that something in our lease that doesn't allow that.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I was thinking so too. I didn't think we allowed a camper, but that you could only have the single residence, because it was single residence.
I don't know, you can restrict people from, so if they come from out of state and own a cabin out there, you can't restrict them from driving their camper to their lease home. I mean, how
I
can-
bet they can't live in their camper.
we don't know if they're living it. All we know is they have it hooked up to water. We don't have no way of knowing if they're actually living it. They own a cabin too.
Yeah.
So unless we go out there at night and lights on in there,
I thought before our discussion was that we limited time, that how long, like if we had company come in and stay for a week or something, and
that's in the city, but that doesn't apply to the lake. For the city, it applies to the city. If you're living in your camper in the city, you want to do it for an extended period of time, you have to go put it in the trailer park.
okay.
But that doesn't apply because it says city limits on the ordinance. It doesn't apply to the lake. And you have an issue right now with the jurisdiction up there that applying some of that stuff out there. Steve, you want to chime in on this?
So so since the city doesn't have jurisdiction to be able to enforce the city ordinances out there at the lake, then only thing that we can do is bring a breach of the lease agreement lawsuit or demand letter against these individuals. But the municipal court does not have jurisdiction at the city lake.
But we can also add that is an addendum to the lease, that stuff's not allowed, and also add the ordinance we want applied out there to the lease as well. Is that not correct?
Yeah, so we can make those ordinances apply out there, but then the county would be the one that has to bring the allegations before the district court, and as backed up as the district court is, I just don't see that as being a precedent or being we're not going to get. I just don't think that there's bigger fish to fry over there.
Steve, couldn't we make
Mayor?
it if we put it in our lease?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be a breach of the lease?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what we.
Hey, Mark. I could look into that. I could look into seeing if by entering into this lease agreement that you're agreeing for the municipal court to have jurisdiction over these issues.
Yeah, I think that's what was recommended by Rick. Was it Rick? Yeah,
Hey, Nick.
our organization lawyer.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Nick,
Yes.
this is Keith. Hey, in number 15 in our current lease, special obligations of the leasee, A says leasee shall not do or permit anything upon the leased premises that will jeopardize the water supply of the city. Then it's followed with B, or C, I'm sorry, you come down to C and it says leasee shall not use the premises so as to constitute a nuisance. So I think there is some things already in the lease that are probably, that could cover it.
yeah.
And I could go to the county attorney and have them bring those issues before the district court. We just can't hear those issues before the municipal court.
So it'd probably be good for us to change the lease to allow us to be able to police that, would it not? Probably be in our best interest to do that.
Is that something we have to have their approval, right? Like,
Actually, we just have to tell them we're doing it.
but at this point, we're kind of at the setting where we can ask them or tell them.
Yes, yes.
Well, Steve, if what Councilman Wessels pointed out, why do we need the district court? They're in violation of the lease. Wouldn't a letter from you saying that they have violated their lease by doing this be all we need?
Yes, but I'm saying that if they could just say, well, okay, it's a letter. Are you going to take my lease away from me? It doesn't really have very much teeth.
Well, isn't that what those clauses that Councilman Wessel pointed out, that if there's violations that we can take their lease away?
but we would have to do that through district court. We can always write a letter, and I'd recommend doing that in this situation. This just goes back to the annexation issue where the municipal court doesn't have jurisdiction out there. So instead of being able to get in and out of court easily, because that's what the municipal court is designed for, we have to rely on the district court. And so we either bring it as a environmental code violation under the county or under a state statute, or instead of going through criminal court, we would go through civil court for a breach of a lease.
I think we just.
Well, we could,
Like association, like.
So, but the reason why in the issues we had before, we were just able to, I mean, and we still can, we can bring those individuals in front of the city council who are doing this as our tenants and have them explain themselves.
well,
I think we need to start with the letter.
let's let Lisa write them a letter, and let's go ahead and send them a letter and then see what happens and get the lake committee together and work on doing an addendum to the lease. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
Anybody else have some ideas? I mean, if you have other ideas, throw them out there. That'd be great.
I'm just appalled that we even have to deal with this.
Yeah, it's a shame that people are taking advantage.
It's been interesting out there here lately. James they go out there and test those systems out there, and in the last month, I think we had 5 or 6 that have failed the test. The septics have failed the test. So there's had to be repairs made in order for it to pass inspection. So, which is quite a few, considering everything.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's continue to work forward then. Do we need a motion to have Steve send that letter? Or just want to have him send? Steve, do you just want to send the letter?
Yes, I'll send the letter. I just heard about it shortly before the meeting, so I don't know who did it, and
Yeah, I don't have all that either. James talked to me about 5 o'clock and let me know, and I just wanted to make sure we brought it up at the meeting so everybody's aware. I'll get the information, or I'll have James give you the information tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, Nick, do you have anything
I do not.
else?
I'm done.
Steve, do you have anything?
no, I just wanted to put on record that we thank the Corps of Engineers for helping us with the dike issue. They definitely did not have to, and so it was very generous of them to be able to help, use some of their funding to be able to help us out as a city. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, they were very gracious. I felt they're doing a great job for us. I agree with you. Thank you, Steve. Anything else, Steve?
Nope, nothing else.
Okay. The only thing that I have is I'm wondering, I've noticed in several cities that I've gone to, surrounding us around here, that as the businesses are opening up, there are like medallions or signs, whatever, around on the businesses that say, reopening or welcome back, or, the city welcomes you back, different things like that. I'm wondering if we should maybe take initiative as a city to do that, to welcome our businesses back as they open. I don't know if any of you have any thoughts on that or not. It would probably be something that we'd have to have somebody, probably the Story Media could design it for us, and they're kind of like a removable sticker people can put on their window or their wall, that people that are starting to come in and visit. And we are having quite a few visitors in town. I've noticed the Last Chance Store started to have people over there every day again from out of town. So, looking. So I think that we're probably getting quite a few visitors coming back, which is great news. But I was wondering if anybody would have any interest in that. None?
Is this something that would be temporary? It's something they would leave up probably at least through the whole episode of the coronavirus, I guess. But
Yeah, it would be temporary, definitely, yeah. Be something about, reopen and, some catchy little phrase or some catchy little picture or something, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really thought it that deep, but I've just noticed they're doing it in Abilene, they've got it in Manhattan, they've got some stuff going on in Emporia like that. Where else was I? I was somewhere else. Salina, I saw it in Salina. They're kind of some of the bigger towns, but it really is neat to see that. It kind of gives a sign of continuity to the town. It makes you feel welcome when you go in. You think, yeah, but I haven't really gone into any place mostly seen the signs, but not going in yet.
Mayor,
Yes,
Mayor, I like the idea. Can I throw in an additional suggestion too?
absolutely.
Why don't we put our welcome flags out? Welcome everybody to our city.
We could do that. That would be great. Where at least part of them, I don't know how many, are they in pretty good shape still? They are still in good shape? We could do that. That's a good idea. And it might not hurt to make, like I said, they're aren't they red, white, and blue? Yeah, kind of make that our thing. Yeah. We've got 4th of July and then we'll have Labor Day and, all those days. So,
Yeah, I'll talk to Jeff.
okay.
I had
Uh-huh.
one comment. To me, it's as important to say to the businesses, we're glad you're survived and back, as well as welcoming visitors. We're supporting our local businesses that they've made it through and are here again.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. That's exactly right. I probably didn't make that very clear, Sharon, but yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly.
I don't know how to say that, but anyway.
Oh, no. So. Does
It
anybody?
can't be that expensive for those stickers. I would move that we move forward on it.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can get a design, I can talk to Redbud about stickers. I know they do
Mhm.
stickers.
Yeah, or not seen that either one, if Redbud can't.
Yep.
Or vice
I
versa.
second. Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. I second it.
Okay, been moved and seconded to welcome our business back with some kind of little banners, or with our welcome banners and some kind of little sticker or plate. All those in favor, Mark Berner,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Larry? Larry,
Yes.
Mark Brooks?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay, I don't think I have anything else other than if somebody would like to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, second,
Second it.
okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye. Stay safe.
Good, we'll see
Aye.
y'all in a couple of weeks. Thank you.